Street League just released the 2023 Trick of the Year finalists, and in no particular order, we're gonna watch them all right now and put them in a little tier list. Okay, so we have the switch back 3 kick you down the stairs. We can count the stairs in a sec. I think it's an 8 though. But this is a really crazy trick. I mean, it's kind of like a simpler trick in the scheme of things, but it is just so difficult to maneuver your body, like switch like that and do a kickflip as well. So like, it is kind of worthy. I did have a look when this video came out, and it came out in January 6th of 2023. So there is for sure that little stipulation that if it did have to be in 2023, it for sure wasn't, because it would have been filmed in 2022, but it was released in 2023, so we're good. So like, we can quickly count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Oh, okay, 9. Doing it down to 9 versus an 8 is a lot better, I think. That is pretty buck. Boom. He did do it really well as well, so we gotta give him that. So, do I think it is gonna win out of these other tricks? The thing is like, I feel like Trick of the Year, it needs to be kind of this like groundbreaking, like new, crazy sort of thing. Whereas I feel like if it's just kind of like another good trick done well, I feel like it's not quite enough. I think I'm gonna put this, oh man, it feels like disrespectful to put the first one there, but I think I'm gonna put in just another trick. Okay, next one. I do not know this guy's name, but this is the most epic nose slide I've ever seen. Like, that's so ridiculous. Like, legitimately, look how steep this rail is. I feel like this is the biggest, steepest rail with stairs on both sides anyone has ever grinded. I definitely could be wrong on that. But you know, you see people hit many stair rails, but it's always kind of over grass or like mellow or like whatever. But this is so steep. And like, nose slide is kind of like a funny random trick, because you don't really see people nose slide big stuff like this. But I was just thinking about it as like, what would I rather do on this like monstrosity? Would it be nose slide? Would it be board slide? Would it be 50? I feel like nose slide, he probably has the best chance of like kind of being able to bail without making it to the bottom and get off. Whereas if you tried board slide, you could not bail without making it to the bottom. You'd literally implode, like sack it and fall into the stairs on your neck and roll both your ankles. 50? Oh, I feel like you'll kind of go too fast. But then like nose slide kind of is the perfect trick, even though it's kind of like counterintuitive. But this just looks so epic. Like, I love it so much. Shout out to this guy. For this one, I think he is for sure gonna be a contender. Do I think it's gonna win? I don't know. I feel like this has kind of like the X factor of like, this is such a spectacle, such a unique thing, that it's much more of a contender than kind of just like a tech trick down a stair set. I feel like maybe he wouldn't win because he's like not like a notable name, but yeah, I think he's good right there. Next up, one of my all-time favorites. I've been watching this guy since I was a little kid. Shea Sheckler pressure kickflip. What do we even call this? Tail drop kickflip into the Encinitas thing. So he tore his ACL or something. Then he tried it with the old sign. Then they renovated the sign to a new sign. Then he's still trying it like a year later. And then he finally does get it done. Like, that is crazy. And I feel like Banks, sometimes with Banks, you kind of have to go there in person to really understand how gnarly it is. And I really love Sheckler. Sheckler is one of my all-time favorite skaters for sure. But, see, like, I don't know if Trick of the Year would be a kickflip by a skater who has done better kickflips. I view Sheckler as having one of the best kickflips of all time. That one down the Costco gap is like literally, I think, the gnarliest kickflip of all time. So, I don't know. What's interesting is I view this nose slide so much of a cooler, unique trick that is for Trick of the Year than this kickflip, but because it's Sheckler and because he's been skating for a lifetime and because he's done all this awesome stuff, I feel like he has a better chance of winning. But I think we gotta just put it in mid. I really do rate the nose slide a lot higher. Next up, we got Antonio Duro. Honestly, I don't know a whole lot about this guy, and I couldn't really find much of the footage of this other than this one angle. So switch, this is switch. Switch 360 flip, nose blunt. This looks like a cool spot. Like, it's so famous. I don't know how many stairs it is. I think it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like the reason they put this here is because back in the day, Eric Costin did the famous 360 flip nose blunt, and at that time, it was kind of really revolutionary. But right now in 2023, I feel like some of the stuff people do on rails is like switch tray nose blunt. It's like, yeah, it's cool, but it's like, man, it's crazy to say that, but it's like, it's not, I feel like it is kind of just like another trick. But he did do that really well. I'm like, it's so sick to see. It's cool that he did it at night, fisheye one angle as well. Like, that is respectable, but do I think it's gonna win? Unfortunately, I do not. Next up, we have the king, Yuto. I am a huge Yuto fan, and I think this was one of the coolest tricks ever. So, Yuto is very known for doing this nollie backside 360 to board slide, and he also does nollie back heel, back lip as well. So it's really cool to see him combine them into this. And this is a big rail too. This is not that small of a rail to do this on, and he literally did it so perfect. The only thing I really dislike about this is why wasn't there a second angle? Like, maybe did I miss it? We got all these homies filming here. Like, where is the second angle? I feel like this would look so cool just straight on filmed, because the fisheye distorts it a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Honestly, that's such a cool trick, and I feel like that's more of a groundbreaking trick than kind of like switch traying into a nose blunt. Yuto is also the only person to be on this list twice. Definitely can't put in another trick. Definitely can't put in mid. I think he's gonna win? I think we're good with it right there, and this can be in front. Okay, Callos Rivera switch crook the king crail. Now this is really epic. When I first saw this, I was like, whoa, like no way. But like, what I really love is he did it perfect. Like, he hits that last little kink. That was really sick. I wonder what he did on this day, if he like board slid off 50 the rail first. So just, can you just go straight to switch crook? That seems insane. As gnarly as this is this like a revolutionary, groundbreaking trick of the year? I feel like we see switch grinds down kink rails. Switch crook definitely is like an exception that probably haven't seen it on that many kinks, like maybe just one kink. But oh man, I don't know if it's, I guess we can give a contender. Maybe we're going mid though. I think it's better than just another trick. Maybe we're going mid. Maybe we're going ahead of Sheckler. But what do I think's better, Yuto's thing or this? Yeah, I probably do think it fits right there. Next up, we got the Australian in the mix. Rob Pace, let's go. Flat 50-50 down to ollie to down to ollie to down. Like, that is really, really, really cool. And it definitely has more of the special sauce that we're talking about to be trick of the year. The only thing that I kind of dislike is last year, or I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but when Jack O'Grady won trick of the year with his similar 50 ollie gap 50, I do kind of feel like that was sort of the cooler version of this. And then Rob does double here, but like Jack's one was a bigger gap and like more of a traditional handrail, whereas this is a bit more of a mellow rail. But still, like, to do two is really sick. And shout out to the Australian representing Rob. Let's go. I think maybe I should put it in front of these. I feel like this is way more likely to be chosen over the nose slide, and maybe over Yuto too. All right, I think we're gonna put it there. Now we have Yuto again, because he is the absolute GOAT. And this, personally, this is my favorite trick by far. I think this is so cool on so many levels. I mean, I guess I'm the kind of guy that likes late flips and that kind of stuff, so that's why it's cool. But Yuto is just this so stylish guy, and to do such a technical trick so clean with so much style is really sick. And what's cool too is this rail has been a famous rail in skateboarding for years and years and years and years and years. So many insane tricks have been done, and no one has ever done a trick like this. So I think to go to a famous spot and to do like such a unique trick that has like such a strong impact, honestly, to me, that is the feeling of what like trick of the year should be. I am gonna score this really good, and the fact that Yuto is in here twice, I think he is my personal choice for sure right there. I feel like that does stand out to me. Last but not least, we got Eric Penton. Now this was really cool. I honestly, like, it might not be my choice, but I feel like this is gonna win. I feel like because, I don't know if you ever seen that clip where the guy does a frontside flip over the hip and he like flicks it up and catches it so nice. I feel like this has a bit of that energy. And people really like that when you do a good style on a really gnarly trick. The only thing that I hate to even say it, but it's like, he catches it beautifully, he locks on perfectly, but just this, like, what happened there? Like, I don't even want to like, I don't even want to say anything, but it's like, what did happen there? Like, is this an issue? I don't know. You let me know what you think about that. But he did it beautifully. Other than that, I don't know. Like, can you do that and be like, oh, I got to do it again? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I feel like to do a revolutionary trick on a famous spot is one thing, but then to do like another good trick on a famous spot, it's like, yeah, someone nose blunted this, but this time I did kickflip 50 and I'm gonna win trick of the year. I feel like if you could kind of separate yourself a little bit more, sort of like the nose slide and the Yuto trick, I feel like to me that's more what trick of the year is. But I think this was really sick. I guess let's put it, oh man, maybe it needs to be there. Yeah, I think I am pretty happy with that. But yeah, that is my prediction. We're not going to get the order, but we will get the winner. We'll probably get it in a few days. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed this style of video, let me know. Trying to mix things up, do things new 2024, let's go. But that's it. I like skate.